Question number 8, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister responsible for Novopay. Does he stand by his statement from over 16 months ago with regard to Novopay? I want to see within 3 months a situation where, as much as possible, workloads from administrators are back to where they were before this thing started.
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, yes I do, and I appreciate the member might have missed it, given that he's only asked me 2 or 3 questions during that time of the 2,821 questions.
Order, just answer the question.
But I'm pleased to advise him that within 3 months of making that statement, the error rate, or the incidence of people overpaid, underpaid or not paid, had fallen to less than 0.5%, as recommended by the ministerial inquiry, and has remained that way for all but the 3 start-of-year pay periods this year. That's a total of 30 of the last 33 pay periods. For example, in relation to the most recent pay period 8, a total of 14 staff were notified as not paid, 15 underpaid and 11 overpaid. For the benefit of the member, that's 40 out of 9,953 staff.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is he satisfied that the workload for school administrators is now back to where it was before Novopay was implemented? If so, what evidence does he have to demonstrate that that is actually the case?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, for the majority of administrators, the workload is back, as I said, as much as possible to where they were before this thing started, Mr. Speaker. There are some administrators who are still finding challenges, and the Ministry has provided payroll advisors to those people to assist them with the issues they have.
Point of order, Chris Hipkins.
Mr. Speaker, I apologise to you and to the Minister because I know the noise was coming from my side of the House. I couldn't hear the Minister's answer, so I can't ask a supplementary question if I couldn't hear what he was actually saying.
I'm going to ask the Minister then if he would repeat his answer, because I was having trouble hearing it as well. Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, most administrators would find their workload back to approximately where this thing started, as I said in my quote. There are some that are still having challenges, I agree, and they are being assisted by dedicated payroll advisors employed by the Ministry of Education.
Supplementary question,
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you. Has he started working on alternatives to Novopay in the event that the ongoing problems with Novopay cannot be resolved? If not, why not?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure that the member should recommend that as the member who actually recommended to the previous minister to start the Novopay process in the first place. He will forgive me if I don't take his advice on this occasion, because I'm sure the former Labor minister wished he hadn't taken his advice on the earlier occasion.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Did the ministers responsible receive advice prior to signing off Novopay's implementation that there were 147 known software defects with the system, that, quote, the risk of failure is high and the consequence of failure serious, end quote? If so, why after 2 years of this debacle is he refusing to explore alternatives to sticking with a payroll system he himself has described as a dog with fleas?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
I'm sorry for the member to not understand this, but when 90,913 staff are being paid correctly and 40 aren't in a pay period, I'm answering the question, hold your fire. The simple reality of it is, it would make no sense to put the staff through what Mr. Hipkins now proposes they put through. But then his advice doesn't surprise me, because it was him that was advising the previous minister to throw out the previous pay system to put Novopay in the first place.
Supplementary question. Supplementary.
Order.
He can lie all he likes, but it's just not true.
Order. Now, supplementary question, Chris.
Speaker, why should the taxpayer have confidence that his decision to take complete control of Novopay will produce better outcomes and provide better value for money, given buried within the agreement he's committed to making ongoing payments to Talent 2 of over $9 million for a system that doesn't work?
Oh, goodness.
Honourable
Dear
Stephen
Mr.
Joyce.
Speaker, this is another example of why it would have been a good idea to have a better ministerial advisor back in 2008 than this one, Mr. Speaker, because the member seems to be suggesting that the solution to Novopay now is to say that we shouldn't pay for any maintenance or any services over the next 6 years of its use to try and prove that that would be a good idea and that Talent 2 would still look after the program on that basis. Mr. Speaker, this member was out of his depth in 2008 and he's out of his depth now.
Order. Question number 9. Dr Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister for Climate Change Issues.